Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool Fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. Liverpool have just turned up at Old Trafford and beat Man United 3-0 in the Premier League, and to be honest, it should have been 5-0. Luis Diaz with the double, 2 goals for Luis Diaz. Opening and scoring is very important in a big picture way, and he has been decisive. Mo Salah obviously scoring as well and getting 2 assists. The man is on form. In fact, he equaled Erling Haaland's points in fantasy football too. Lucky I captained that guy, Egyptian king running down the wing. However, there are many subplots in this particular match, and we will go through the tactical analysis of every single point in the match. This is a channel with substance in abundance.
The cream of the crop!
And that's what we do. But saying that, I'm going to be introducing new formats and new mediums because I always love to innovate, and we're going to bring the delivery and the flow to the next level. So keep an eye on that in the next few weeks. And speaking of new content, the Miyazaki Mama my missus, is doing the translation of Wataru Endo's 22-minute vlog talking about Arne Slot, the first 2 matches, and the expectations of him as we speak. So look forward to that one, all Liverpool Fan in Japan members. And a big shout out and thank you to all of those who joined me on the live watch along of Liverpool versus Man United. It was a fantastic stream, absolute top-notch interaction, great banter. Thank you for all the love and support as well. And I will be clipping it down for a little highlights clip of that live stream. And even though we had 150 concurrent viewers yesterday joining me for the most banterific session on YouTube, let's double that number and go. But speaking of go, did you see our transitions, attack and midfield? Did you see Arne Slot's tactical ploy at work, the pressing traps, the deep counter-attacks, the zones of influence and the passages of play that led to our victory? I'm going to talk about each and every point to highlight how Arne Slot is a masterful tactician. He is the shiny one, up the shiny one. And he put the debate to bed, the battle of the bolds. I think we've struck gold. And since we're talking about subplots, did you know Mo Salah and Casemiro are exactly the same age, 32 years old? And we're going to talk about Mo Salah's post-match interview and how it's his last year at Liverpool as well. And we'll get into all the analysis, including Trent's lovely Muchu Gerrard style to the camera, even though it got ruled out. So let's get into it.
Yes, okay.
So yes, Mushroom Boy Ato enjoyed his trip to school this morning because Liverpool dominated United. And as you saw, I did the match preview with Grizz Khan, my man himself, full of zen. In fact, we turned Man United inside out. Let's reverse this and get some matcha green zen-like atmosphere on the camera. Love the bowler hat. Inspired by you, Grizz. Much appreciated. So, one thing I want to talk about is the difference between Jurgen Klopp's style and Arne Slot's style. Jurgen Klopp is relentless, a pressing Gengen pressing machine. He is battering on the door until he breaks through with relentless consistency and pressure, high tempo, octane in front of the defence, cutting inside, Lucho Diaz shooting away, Mo Salah shooting away as well. Arne Slot is more like patiently probing around the door, looking for that key to pick the lock, getting through and presenting a more presentable chance. And that's what we saw, especially with Szoboszlai, who looked a little bit gun shy, but there's reasons for that as well. We saw that with Lucho Diaz getting into more prominent positions. How many times have we seen Lucho Diaz in and amongst the penalty area, arriving late into the box, the late runner into the box, a la Frank Lampard of the old, scoring his bajillion goals as well. If we can get Lucho Diaz into more prominent positions for easier conversion, that will be top trumps, because then how can you stop a Mercurial winger who gets into the right positions and finishes with aplomb? If you can do the same with Darwin Núñez, because Santiago Jimenez was a relentless runner but not very efficient in converting chances and hit and miss as well, until Arne Slot got his hands on him and incorporated it into the slot machine. What I want to talk about is the fact that we play the extra pass. Now, what allowed us to get into position to play those extra passes is the fact that in midfield, we were physically fitter than Man United. The fitness levels, the stamina, the calibre of the player that can turn in and amongst a congested area. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister bow down to the greatness of this Liverpool midfield. This is a midfield that was revamped last season, with Endo included. 4 new midfielders. Klopp did a phenomenal job getting them to play together with such style and profile, but now they've got a year to get used to each other, build that relationship, build that rapport. It's a common trope in Japan, but friendship trumps all. The power of friendship, knowing your mate and being there for him, is a huge factor. This dressing room in Liverpool right now is the place to be. They get on well, they get on so well, they vibe together, they've got a great relationship on and off the pitch. Szoboszlai with Trent, that bromance. Cody Gakpo and Curtis Jones, that bromance. And we don't even need to do those forced awkward interviews like Mane and Salah besties. Because they're not. But the closest relationship is Arne Slot winning the lot. So cheesy. But yes, what you saw in this particular game was Liverpool absolutely piling on into the space where Casemiro occupies. Now, Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo, who to be fair is an athletic, top caliber wonder kid, we pressed them relentlessly into that position that they had to take so many additional touches to get the ball under control, and they didn't have the passage of play available for the fact that Szoboszlai in particular with Diogo Jota was pressing them like a machine. Liverpool's press was a 4-2-4, inverted Jota leading the charge, Lucho Diaz, Szoboszlai and Mo Salah, an inverted W that arcs and pincers into a particular player. This stopped Lisandro Martinez from playing out from the back. Now, we absolutely suffocated Lisandro Martinez with no passages of play obvious. He hit and hoped, and he tried to play ball through the lines, and we turned it over. Similar to Matthijs de Ligt, he is not the best ball player. He's not the silkiest player. He is more like a Carragher type player. Definitely overpaid, by the way. And he's physical. He's got a mean streak. He's ruthless. He's not the most pacey. He's not the best ball player. He can basically defend on the front foot, and that's what you get with him as well. Onana, pick out the goal out of your net. 3 goals, mate. Cold defeat served on the plate. MC Star in the house. Booyah. But yes, really, they could not play out from the back. I told you in the match preview as well, Man United's big opportunities will come from set pieces and smashing the ball across the face of the goal. They will get into positions, panic and smash the ball across the face of the goal, hoping for Xerxes to dive in there, or Bruno Fernandes to dive in there. Bruno Fernandes is their only small spark, and he can play in spurts, bits and pieces, a moment's player. The reason is Xerxes could not hold up the ball. He did not approach the ball. He did not get close enough to the ball to try to hold up the play. He is the worst stylistic matchup for Man United against Liverpool because Van Dijk and Konate out-muscle him. The physicality is there for our defenders. We have the pace, so he can't run in behind as well. He's not the silkiest in connecting play. He takes too many touches, and he's not used to the brutality and the pressure of the Premier League. Xerxes had a stinker, but with that in mind, he did get some opportunities in the second half. The reasoning is Rashford. Now, Rashford was on the periphery of the game. He didn't track back to mark Trent Alexander-Arnold, which is one of the win conditions that I specified. Trent Alexander-Arnold in the right half space, transitioning later to go further high up. His goal, unfortunately, was chalked off because Mo Salah interfered with play in an offside position. However, Trent was untouchable in the rondos, playing the ball into the laterals, into the Szoboszlai, into the McAllister. McAllister and Gravenberch, phenomenal. I will do the player ratings in a separate video, but Gravenberch and McAllister in the double pivot allowed Szoboszlai to invert into the 10 position. Gravenberch did what he did every match so far this season, move laterally across the line with the ball, untouchable because his dangly long legs, his silky first touch, his control and mastery of the ball, his acceleration to get away from players. This is like a prime Yaya Toure, and that's no exaggeration because he's always been held in high regard. Gravenberch holds the ball until he can penetrate the line to Szoboszlai or get it out to a Trent Alexander-Arnold who will penetrate the line to Szoboszlai. They invite the pressure from Man United, right? Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro. They invite the pressure to weave in the opportunity. You arc the ship, the fulcrum, until the gap, the space in between the two players opens up, and then you hit the ball to the spare man to penetrate through to Szoboszlai, through to Jota. Now, Jota, people say, had an ineffective game. Off the ball, he was a menace. He closed all the passing lanes, as did Andrew Robertson. His off-the-ball game was phenomenal. He knitted the play. It's just unfortunate he made a few wrong decisions in the box, but he was quietly effective as well. But let's get back to Gravenberch here. One thing I want to say about the transfer window shutting, right? For everyone who wanted a 6, first of all, your mythical 6 would not have played better than Ryan Gravenberch in the first 3 games. Arne Slot analysed the squad, its potential and the attributes for the particular role, and has identified Gravenberch as someone who can fit in Arne Slot's system. Gravenberch and McAllister are system players. They facilitate what you need to do to get into the gaming positions. Even Zubimendi, who could have come in, would have offered something different than Wataru Endo and Gravenberch as well. He rejected the chance to come because he knew how could he get a game ahead of special gravy mateys. But I digress just a little bit, all facts aside. Hopefully now you have some confidence that Arne Slot has a talented squad. Everyone said it. Now you start to believe it. He inherited the ultimate gift from Jurgen Klopp, the ultimate parting gift. Apart from that serenade from Jurgen Klopp himself, that was quite a gift as well. The squad is immaculate. They've had a year getting used to each other. We've still got the world-class players, Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, McAllister, and all this squad needed was a little bit of tactical tweaking and innovation to get the players confident in the right position and trusting the system and trusting each other to unlock the door. And now that we're getting Lucho Diaz inside the periphery of the goalposts, which means he's got a better angle to shoot from, similar to Mo Salah, closer to the goal, not far out on a width where he struggles to beat a man, but his playmaking ability, his game intelligence and his off the ball running, that is making the difference in the opening few weeks as well. We knew he was mean, lean and ready to go because he had that nice crew cut haircut. And additionally, how many people would have thought that Sadio Mane would have stayed and Mo Salah would have departed in the previous contract negotiation tussles as well? But the fact is, Mane was physicality, pure acceleration, shot power, absolute relentless pressing, whereas Mo Salah had to change his game into a more intelligent, moments type player, a Lionel Messi of the old ages, which is actually a really good thing because he's now a playmaking wide forward who gets involved in the build-up play as well, and especially in the key moments. This off the ball running and relentless running, as Arne Slot mentioned, when the opposition starts to tire towards the end of each half, that's when your key players step up and be counted. And what I mean by that is Arne Slot's tactics, the extra man in the overload, facilitate that player to get into the game-winning positions again and again, and if you consistently get into those positions again and again, and I did say in the match preview, we'd be cutting through United like a hot knife through butter. And the reason is, Man United as personnel, including their talents and their shape and the width and size of Old Trafford as well, they will not be able to stop the ball between their fullback and the centre back again and again. And if they do try to position themselves to stop that ball in behind, we have a player in front of that line in the Mazzara position to take up the ball and play from there. How many times Arne Slot tried to get a key player into the number 10 position, because Arne Slot in his playing days was a playmaker, an advanced attacking midfielder, a silky baller in front of the opposition defence and just behind a number 9 as well. He knows the game-winning positions and the tactical plays and passages of plays from that position. So many times when it looked like Szoboszlai should have shot, Salah should have crossed it, we tried to play into that 10 position, because from there Arne Slot must have relentlessly been pushing into the players. Get in that position, play from there. This is what you need to do to create an easier goal conversion chance. And now that is music to Darwin Núñez's ears, because if we can get Núñez into those positions again and again, he has the physicality and acceleration and a shot to beat the opposition goalkeeper. If we can get him within the widths of the goals again and again, he will be loving that chance creation. But give him some time to cook as well, because Darwin Núñez coming on was actually quietly effective. He pressed the opposition. He always made himself an outlet. The ball didn't come. There could have been an occasion. Szoboszlai could have slipped him through. The ball went out wide to Mo Salah. We could have whipped it around the back from Szoboszlai again to Darwin Núñez. But it was rotated again to keep the ball, to keep the clean sheet. And the beautiful thing about Darwin Núñez, credit to his name, he tracked all the way back to ensure we kept a clean sheet. Darwin Núñez is an essential part of the squad, as is Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Connor Bradley, Wataru Endo. The whole squad is there to be counted, because we have run of fixtures coming up that really needs the whole squad to contribute. Speaking of which, after the international break, Nottingham Forest. How's that for a welcome back? Nottingham Forest at home. Come on, boys, let's up the goal tally. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I will do a full match preview on that as well, but that's a great way to be introduced back to the Premier League after the international break, right? And Darwin Núñez is going to miss the international break anyway, so hopefully he can pick up his English and work with Slot closely, one-to-one. Get that bromance going. I want Slot to give Darwin Núñez a bit of a noogie, you know, rub off some of that shine into Núñez. And you can tell the boys are going to go away to international duty on form, on fire, and happy as days. Lucho Diaz smacking the Liverpool badge, pointing to the Liverpool badge as he scored the second goal. And another thing that I really like as well is Arne Slot's aura and dominance in interviews with Melissa Reddy, with Roy Keane, with D Studger Daniel Sturridge, Quiz Master Studge, doing a bit of that. When Arne Slot talks, you listen, because he's so intelligent. He's so cool and methodical, well spoken. We press with the 9, we expect him to press with the 10. It goes into half space, into the 11, round we go again. He knows exactly what he's talking about. And there you have Carragher and Gary Neville scratching their heads and going, why did Robertson go behind the centre backs? Top punditry, you gotta love it. So just before I bring out the tactical board and go through some of the key moments in the game so you can visualize it, I want to say a huge thank you. We are amazingly at 70 Liverpool Fan in Japan members. The Liverpool Fan in Japan Army, Miyazaki Gun, Ichiban. It means the army, Miyazaki Army is the best right now. I really appreciate each and every one of you. A huge welcome to the latest members: Stephen Alive, Scooby Dooby Zero, Cliffzilla, Usman Dar, John B, Juan H, Red for Life and Robin F. Special mention to Joseph M, Jamie R, Christian Debs P, Captain Has for going above and beyond in the LFIJ All-Stars tier and Emperor Endo tier. Thank you so much. And in fact, I'm also selling some merch. Some have sold already. I'm going to give you a personal thank you message to each and every one who buys the merch too. So big thank you to Lim, Christian and Genevieve as well. In regards to your favour, Lim, absolutely happy to talk to you about content creation and collaborating anytime. Hit me up on Discord, let's chat my friend. Becoming a Liverpool Fan in Japan member is the best way to support the channel and it's cheaper than some chicken dipper from KFC.
So why not?
And also in terms of the merch, I'm going to do a rotating batch of designs month on month. I think the links are in this video as well. So if you see a design you like, why not pick it up? Definitely helps the channel as well. But let's get into the tactics.
Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Alrighty, so I've set up the tactical board here. I have a special request from a Liverpool Fan in Japan member, Kim, around the threats that Man United posed, and we will get into those situations to learn how Liverpool can best avoid them in the future. Now we know that Man United wanted to get in the whips and smash a ball across goal. Traditionally, when they get into those channels there and they do smash the ball across the goal, smash the ball across the face of the goal, it provides uncertainty. They're hoping for a diving Xerxes or diving Bruno Fernandes to get in and amongst our penalty area, but unfortunately for them, the pressing from our midfield was so effective that the gap between the midfield reinforcements, the front line and the wing play was absolutely phenomenal. It's like the Grand Canyon. Now what happened on occasion when Trent got megged and he got beaten for pace and power down the wing, you'd like to hope that Trent is more aggressive, not more focused but more aggressive in his defending. Sometimes you take the yellow card to stop the threat because it's man or the ball, one shall not pass. The dark arts of defending. If you can get away with a yellow card, even better. But saying that, when the player does beat Trent, Trent knows his limitations as a defender, what he's very good to do. He's no Andy Robertson. However, he's an intelligent player. You have to be in order to play an Arne Slot Jurgen Klopp system and get that many assists and be the fulcrum for which the whole team rotates around your movement. So what he needs to do is track the player in and around the outside, and you're hoping the game intelligence of an Alisson Becker to come in to claim the ball, Konate to cover for Trent as well, Van Dijk to cover the edge ball and a rotational play, and Robertson to tuck inside as well. You're hoping that they all are intelligent enough to position themselves to account for the fact that Trent most likely will guide and shift a player out into this position where there's a minimal chance for conversion. Because as I mentioned in the Tactics 101, any ball that comes in, there's such a small margin for the opposition to beat our player and head the ball on target with an accurate ball to get in, that any clearance in any direction initiates a second phase, okay? So on one occasion, actually on two occasions, what happened was Rashford imitating Ashley Young. Now we know if Rashford can't get in and behind and he can't beat our line, which he can't do for the fact that our midfield is totally congested and it's so hard to penetrate through the centre, him working the lines with Bruno Fernandes, him working alongside Joshua Xerxes, allowed him to cut back in on his right foot, and what he was able to do was whip the ball from a standstill start with an open palmed foot to guide the ball, caress the ball into the zone of uncertainty. Because does Alisson come to try to claim the ball? In most cases, he should do. Van Dijk is beaten by the arc of the ball, and Xerxes creeped in front of Andrew Robertson. Now, it's quite hard for Andrew Robertson to mark Xerxes for the fact that he's got Garnacho on the other side as well, right? And a Diallo on the other side as well. Now, Xerxes creeped in. Now you're hoping that Alisson Becker can clatter and clean him up. But Alisson actually stayed on his line, so this was a big threat. Fortunately, he headed the ball straight at Alisson. I don't think Xerxes is particularly prominent in the air. He really is a bad matchup in terms of, for Man United's tactics, really making an impact against Konate and Van Dijk. But the quality of Rashford's delivery on two occasions did manage to create some uncertainty and confusion in our defence, and Xerxes got in front of Andrew Robertson. Robertson probably put him off just a little bit. That is one threat that we need to do. We know that Rashford on his left foot is a little bit useless. Not completely useless, just a little bit useless. So the fact that he was able to cut inside and work the angles to cross it in, an Ashley Young type left winger, right footed delivery into the box, it's slightly scary prospect. We were on the cuff of conceding one. Now, I don't want to big myself too much, but I did get the lineup of both teams right. I got the lineup of both teams right in the previous match as well, and the score right as well. The only thing I got wrong in this particular fixture, and I was happy to be wrong, is I predicted 3-1. But 3-0, I'll take it any day, as I said in the live stream. And another threat. Now, even though with our passing triangles, when we pass the ball, right, we create the square at the back, the zone of compression, right? This is the danger zone, the trap zone. Do not enter this zone right here. When we play our passing triangles, it's always with the intention to create an opportunity. When I mentioned about Man United splitting the lines, right, when they're close together, when one goes deep, the line of pass is out here. When one goes this way, the line of pass is into 8 as well. When we play our tiki-taka, Joga Bonita ball, we have a means to an end to get a position into the 10, either 10 or Mo Salah side 10 positions. However, when Man United were bopping the ball left, right and centre, they were really doing it because they were under pressure without clear intention. Now, when they do it, they were in close proximity playing the 2-yard ball, 3-yard ball, 3-metre balls. What we need to pay attention on is on the transition, the gaps, as always. Now, luckily, we have Konate to mark the side channels, Van Dijk to clear up the sweeper role, Andy Robson tactically disciplined as well. But what on occasion happens is that when the player drops off into these spaces, we can't give away the foul. We can't bump into them because they're looking for the fouls. When they're under the cosh, they are looking to be taken out. And in that regard, Van Dijk, I think, got a yellow card for being turned and taken a play out on here. We've got to be careful for those set pieces as well, because set pieces are almost equaliser for a game when you're under the cosh and can't get out and can't get your passing together. And Man United really couldn't get their passing together, because how many occasions did a Man United player play the ball straight out of play under pressure, straight out of play, Onana, straight out of play, right? And that is not by chance, it's because of Liverpool's effective pressing. So when they are so much under the cosh, don't give away cheap free kicks, because that is their route back to goal, as well as a wide cross and a hit and hope, because ultimately they were outnumbered because they can never get their midfield in support of their front players. Garnacho was on peripheries, not even in the game. Rashford did pluck away, didn't track back completely, but his delivery was quality. He does have the quality in him. He's a very hot and cold player. We can't let them back into the game. Now, what's particularly interesting coming back to Liverpool, and hopefully, Kim, that was helpful, and let me know in the comments below if you guys find the opposition chances helpful and what Liverpool need to improve on as well. But what I found particularly useful in Liverpool setup, right, we know that there's going to be a deep line too. But on many occasions, right, in the previous game, Szoboszlai occupied the right space and McAllister occupied the left. Many times in this particular game, Szoboszlai wandered off into the left and Gravenberch was almost given his role to play with Trent Alexander-Arnold. They were almost in the same line together to play as a two with Konate backing them up. Now, Gravenberch, almost a 10 out of 10 performance. In fact, he might get a 10 out of 10 performance. He literally is the perfect 6 for taking the ball under pressure. His first touch is immaculate. His ability to maneuver and manipulate the ball to get into position to play the ball through the lines is immaculate. His ability to hit a longer pass or get your player on the run with an overload, right? Because you always play side slot. You don't always have a balanced shape. You want to invert. You want to create overloads. His ability to make those overloads on any given side was immaculate. He is the 6 of your dreams. A combination of Frank Rijkaard and Ruud Gullit in their prime. Absolutely proud. Wim van Hanegem. There's the Dutch name. There is the Gravenberch prototype, right? I know everyone loves their Rijkaard. Everyone loves their Ruud Gullit. Wim van Hanegem. Absolutely vital pivot for the Holland international fixtures. What a player. Look him up if you haven't already. Wim van Hanegem. Enough about Wim van Hanegem, Ryan Gravenberch. Szoboszlai, his physicality for getting up and down the lines to press and create overloads is immense. He is a nightmare. I told you, he will run this line again and again, and you cannot stop him getting into that position. That position and that position is Arne Slot's winning conditions. But as well as that, when he was on this position here, he has that effective ball. I just wish he would have hit that early one to Darwin Núñez when he came on, because that would have been a fantastic counter-attacking goal with great build-up as well. Diogo Jota leads the press. Now, what you have here is a really inverted press, okay? It's like this. It's a W formation, okay? WM kind of press. It's an inverted staggered press to sit in midfield to stop the transitions through the middle, and everyone else congests and makes it tight. There is your offside line right there. We press in this 4-2-4 formation. When we are going for it, we press in a 4-2-4. In the latter stages, it drops to a 4-4-2. 4-4, flat 2. That is very, very similar to Jurgen Klopp, and I want to make a big point about that. This team has been moulded by Jurgen Klopp in Gengen pressing, in counter-attacking, in running the channels, running the lines, working your Diaz and your Mo Salah into prominent positions as well. We still have that. Diaz is super effective there. Salah is super effective there. Jota leads the press as well. We have the free as and when needed as well, right? To do the traditional jobs. Robertson overlapping Trent in the half space as well. Trent inverting into base. All available options, and they all know how to do that. But what you find very, very interesting is Diaz in this position looks to pass. He looks to pass because Diaz wants to be in this position to shoot and this position to shoot. He doesn't need to be there anymore. He doesn't need to do it all himself. Similarly, Salah does not need to hold the width because we're getting the width, the organic width, through the extra pass, allowing us to reach the laterals, which is Salah in the shadow position there. He can stay in there because we reach the widths by having the extra pass and playing the laterals, as I mentioned time and time again. Arne Slot, his system is a masterful system of disrupting the opposition's shape. He's a disruptor of the opposition in many, many ways, especially that shiny head reflecting the sunlight into Ten Hag's eyes. He manages to disrupt the opposition in ways that are absolutely innovative and shows his tactical brilliance. What I mean by that is one particular example, right? One particular example. And it all starts with McAllister being absolutely battered in the ginger nuts, because I feel sorry for the lad. He got hit twice there, I believe. Is that when you set up the traditional formation, right, the traps do not always have to be on the whips. The traps do not always have to be in whips. You can have your trap in this diamond here, right, and this diamond here. Now what happens when you turn over the ball, right? Casemiro is left isolated at the base of the midfield. What happens when you win the ball is everyone pushes up into the space in and around Casemiro, in and amongst their flanks as well. And Van Dijk has the ability to hit the no-look through ball through the lines into the 8. Konate has the ability to hit the through ball into the 8. Trent steps up here and can get the ball into the 8 as well. Gravenberch, as I mentioned, can get the ball into 8. If you hit the ball out wide, he can get the ball into the 8, into half space. We are so dominant at getting a player into the position time and time again. Sure, it failed on occasion, but as I mentioned, when Arne Slot gets a player in this position, we are cooking, because the patterns of play, the passing angles, the passages of play, when you get to there, it goes back, it can go in there for a cross. We see the same thing on the other side as well, probably more effective, because Trent and Szoboszlai and Salah this season are more effective crosses, and the type of goals that we are scoring, Salah cutting through the opposition lines into a Diaz who hits it first time. When you get into more prominent goal scoring positions, the conversion rate, the metrics, the goal expectancy, all the good stuff doesn't even matter. It results in a goal more often than not. That's all you need to know. When you get the players within the peripheries of the goal to shoot with a bigger margin for error, it ends up in a goal more often than not. Because not only did Diaz score that one, when the ball came out to Salah, right, he's in this position. Now he has a bigger margin for error. I know Onana stayed on his line. Onana is not the greatest keeper, not the greatest reach. Anyway, he didn't even hit it full power or into side net, and it still goes in, because the points of conversion are much easier when you're within the peripheries of the goal, and we manage to work the guys into there, for the fact that when we overturn the ball in the diamonds, it's now a 6-on-4 in the midfield, and if you transition the ball into the right position in the 10s, it becomes a 3-on-2 again and again, charging at their back line, because the 6 doesn't know who to press. The fullbacks don't know whether to cut inside and close the passing lane between the centre-back and the fullback, or press the rampaging runner who's bypassed their initial 8. They are caught in no man's land, and Arne Slot is so brilliant at creating those outnumbered overloads everywhere on the pitch. I said from the very beginning when Arne Slot came in, right, the difference between Arne Slot and Jurgen Klopp is Jurgen Klopp will be battering the door again and again, getting those game-winning positions for your Mercurial wingers to shoot, train it in until it works. Arne Slot is able to dissect the opposition's low block through passages of play that he's relentlessly honed into players again and again and again and again. And you can just see they are so confident in the extra pass because the options are there. So often when Trent is coming in, when he's running in, you're expecting a whipped ball straight away, but it doesn't happen straight away, because what happens is he might hit a ball to Szoboszlai instead, carry on his run. Salah gets the ball on the line angles. Szoboszlai goes to the P spot. Now, who is marking Trent? Because the ball is shifted so fast, all the players drop and drop and drop. You mark, you go to Salah, tackle him, you go to Szoboszlai, and then the ball comes out again, and here's the spare man. What do? Do you smash it in? Do you square it where the overload is on the other side because of the fact that all the players are now marking on the right hand side? It's just fantastic to see. It looks so controlled. This is the slot machine at full effect. And for Man United and Man United fans, this is the new normal for Man United. They're not a top tier team. They don't have a direction of play. Ineos have come in and it's still a shambles. It's an unfortunate reality, but that is the new normal for Man United. And this is the new normal for Liverpool. And we're now in the respective places that we deserve to be. And we are so dominant in the fact that even Van Dijk can give the ball to a Garnacho or give the ball to a Rashford and say, I'm just letting you borrow it, mate. I'm a little bit bored. I'm going to snatch it off you again, and off we go. He'll charge up through the lines himself, because Van Dijk Usually, the sweeper of the backline was front-footed and taking the man on and destroying Xerxes. Xerxes just did not move to the ball, and Van Dijk, compatriot, knew him all day long. Thank you very much. I'm getting in there and nicking the ball. And the combination of forcing Man United into errors with the press, as well as unforced errors because of the dominance and mental psych and winning mentality and mental relentless pressure on the opposition, forced errors and unforced errors, a combination for disaster for the home team. And in tennis, if those mount up, you're in for a bad day. Losing 3-0 to your biggest rivals at home. 2 losses. They should have almost had 3 losses. They got lucky against Fulham, missing 2 clutch chances as well. 2 clear-cut chances as well. International break with 3 points. They're near relegation. It's where they deserve to be. And I don't do that to spite Man United fans. It's just reality. And Erik ten Hag got an extension this year. And he's giving it a big talk as well. And good news for Liverpool. We got Federico Chiesa biding his time on the bench to get fit. Integrate himself into the slot machine as well. Oh boy. I will do a player ratings video later today as well when I get some time. And isn't it amazing that Mo Salah is actually the 4th highest scorer at Old Trafford. The 4th highest scorer at Old Trafford since 2021 January. Wow. But this just shows you team chemistry, team bond, muscle memory, that togetherness, knowing what you're doing in the press, knowing what you're doing in defensive transition, knowing what you're doing in offensive transition as well. And having a dominant midfield who are so flexible, because Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and McAllister facilitate all of our good play, and they can interchangeably rotate. Gravenberch can play 8, McAllister can play the base. Szoboszlai can play deeper as well. McAllister can play 10, Gravenberch with Szoboszlai as well. They're all interchangeable. We have defenders who are comfortable stepping into the void as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold can invert in there. Endo to come as well. Curtis Jones to come in there as well. And just for a final thoughts of anyone who thinks our squad is not prepared for this season, you have Kelleher, Queeve in goal. Connor Bradley, probably the highest prospect wonder kid at right back in world football. Jarrell Quansah, Jomez Maldini, Kostas the Scouse Greek, Tsimikas. Let's get the wingers up there as you like. Darwinho Núñez, high caliber bags of talent. Cody Gakpo, left wing maestro. Right winger, hello, Federico Chiesa. His missus is stunning as well. Just behind them, Harvey Elliott, Wataru, Man Mountain Endo, the big E, Curtis Jones. And that is just the front line. You put in there Troy and Yoni, Jaros as well. Mamashvili to come in. And we are cooking. That second string 11 could have beaten that Man United team yesterday. I'm sure they would have given them a game and a half. So be thankful, up the Reds. Hope you have a good week. Now I'm going to reward myself with a piece of kit. And what I do, let's talk about Mo Salah's contract, his interview, Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation as well. So Trent Alexander-Arnold was actually caught saying, I'm going to be back for you guys. I'm going to come back to Old Trafford and do you in again, kiss the camera and get a legit goal this time. Trent will sign because he'll just be another fish in an ocean of talent in the world-class Real Madrid team. And even though he's mates with Bellingham, who cares? Business is business. Pleasure is pleasure. He's a Scou's heartbeat of the team. They'll renew him. It'll get done. Transfer window. You don't need to renew contract in the transfer window. It's about the right time, the right place, the right finances for everyone. Speaking of which, Mo Salah as well. Sure, we haven't offered him a new contract yet, but I'm pretty sure Mo Salah, I've heard it before, he wants to wait towards closer to the end of the season. I know it's a risk, but you have your loyalty to one of your best players ever who has paid you back tenfold, especially because of his value from Roma, right? Alisson's value from Roma too. My goodness, we absolutely rinsed him for that. So, yes, good things come to those who wait. You can't rush them. Everyone has to come to the table. You can't just present a contract. You can't present the numbers. You have to know what kind of numbers he wants. And maybe the agent and Salah are weighing up their options, seeing how the season goes. Maybe just wants to concentrate into football. Just enjoy the good times, man. Take it week on week. Take it game by game. And we're on a roll. It'll happen. And if it's meant to be, it will be. But even if we lose him, and he's provided all the value in the world. Don't be too greedy. Be appreciative and be respectful. Mo Salah, living legend. Absolute role model and idol for every Liverpool fan worldwide. I think he's still slightly underappreciated. He is right up there with Steven Gerrard, right? He is right up there with Steven Gerrard and Kenny Dalglish. And Virgil van Dijk, captain of the club, loves the club, wants to stay at the club. It's in the club's hands to offer these guys new deals. I think Liverpool, be fair, will offer them new deals, irrespective of their age, because look at Mo Salah. He could go until 36, 37, 38. He's the same age as Casemiro, and look at the difference in quality there. Albeit Casemiro's won it all. He's probably having a good retirement paycheck right now. Van Dijk can still go. Team of the season last season, metric, amazing. Trent Alexander-Arnold hitting his prime as well, Scal's heartbeat. I believe all three will renew. My personal opinion, don't rush these things, don't panic, enjoy match week to week. And what have we got here? It's my favourite colour. It's turquoise. It's green. It's Carlsberg. Green and Carlsberg? Which kit is this? I've already got a bad boy Bellamy. What is this? This? No name on the back. Ooh, smells kind of fruity. What shirt is this? I love the look of the shirt. Now, I can't actually remember which shirt this is, but look at those kind of sun-striped pylons and columns on this shirt. Carlsberg, embroidered Liverpool badge, Adidas. Which shirt is this? This must be going back to 2006. Is that Risa? Do I remember Risa wearing the shirt? I don't know. Let's get on. Oh, I like this. Green might be my colour. This is really nice, really trim. There's no name on the back, but I don't need it. This is an Adidas kit. This is one of Adidas's finest kits. I'm sure of it. Guys, we're up there top of the league with Manchester City. Head to head, it'll be very interesting. Can Arne Slot outdo Arteta, who has dropped points? This has been a really good weekend. Tottenham dropped points, lost to Newcastle. Arsenal have dropped points. Chelsea have dropped points. Erling Haaland's a machine, but let's see him do it against the Arsenal. Against the Liverpool, for example. Declan Rice suspended. Interesting. Against Tottenham as well. This is a great time to be a red. The shiny one, up the shiny one. He is proving his worth. Everyone's standing up and being counted in the Liverpool squad. Everyone's happy in the background as well. Mamacita Maimi Miyazaki Mamamai will be doing the translation of the next Wataru Endo vlog video. In fact, the longest one, 22 minutes, right? So hopefully you guys, LFIJ members, hope you guys enjoy that video when it's out as well. Remember to like this video, helps the channel get seen. Subscribe if you haven't already. Loads and loads of content coming up. Miyazaki Gan, the army Ichiban. Until next time, have a great day, everyone. I'm going to have a great day. We won 3-0. Janet means ciao.
Liverpool fan in Japan.